Welcome to the Freelancers Tea Break, the bite-sized podcast all about freelancing and working from home to enjoy during your tea break. Brought to you by Emma Cossey from freelancelifestyle.co.uk. And now, your host, Emma Cossey.
Welcome to this week's Freelancers Tea Break, a 3-minute podcast you can listen to while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. This week I want to talk about something that we all seem to be desperate to find, and there are hundreds and thousands of articles all about it, and that's how to improve your productivity. And this is especially the case I'm finding at the moment for my freelancing lifestyle, when I have a baby to juggle as well, and you want to get the most out of every time all the time that you've got. So recently I've given up 3 things that have helped with my productivity and helped me get more done. So the first one is I've semi-given up TV. So I used to have the TV on in the background all the time. And what I've done is I've kept it only for the mornings when I'm usually just catching up on TV that I've recorded the night before and ended up crashing out and missing. And the afternoon is completely no TV time. If I want to have something in the background, it's usually a podcast, an audiobook, or some sort of relaxing music. And the reason of this is because I found that having the TV on was much more distracting than I realised. So I would really recommend trying that for a week, reducing your TV time. You could even try it in the evenings. It's a little bit harder if you have a partner that likes watching TV as well. But if you can, see how just cutting out 1 or 2 hours TV a day gives you back so much more time. Okay, the second thing I gave up was Facebook groups that were negative or didn't really contribute anything other than procrastination or sort of triggering articles that made you really ranty. I found I left several groups about parenting because that seemed to be full of very ranty articles quite often, but also some business groups where it was just link dumping. So I would really recommend having a look through your Facebook groups and chucking out or removing the ones that you don't get a lot out of. And the third thing I gave up was giving up. So I realised a big part of my problem was I started lots and lots of things, but I never finished things, or I rarely finished things and just added them to my to-do list. So I've been making a really conscious effort to try and get things, try and only finish things that I've started, and only start projects if I knew I had the time to finish them. So, for example, I don't start my emails if I only know I've got 5 minutes to do them, because I'm never going to get through them in time, and I'm just going to end up boomeranging them back into my inbox for another time. So I set aside now focus time during each day to do it. Equally, this extends even to household things. So this was actually a tip I found on a blog that I read, and she said that you shouldn't put your washing on and then put it in the tumble dryer, but then put another wash on, which then you can't put in the tumble dryer until the next load is done and all that sort of thing. You should just put your wash on, put it in the tumble dryer, put it in the basket, and then put it all away, and then start the next cycle. And then you don't end up having a huge basket full of clothes that you can't be bothered to put away until the end of the week, and it just becomes a lot more clutter. So those are 3 things I've given up to improve my productivity. I would love to know what kind of things that you think would give up to improve your productivity, or if there are any kind of tips that you found that have really boosted it. So this is a little bit longer than the usual 3 minutes. It's approaching 4. But do let me know on Twitter, freelance_life, if you have any fantastic productivity tips.